It all started on this sunny afternoon in our quiet little suburb of Oak Ridge, Texas. I'm out in the yard, tending to my tomato patch that I'd babed all spring, when suddenly this massive black SUV comes barreling through like it owns the place, tires churning up the soil, crushing my heirloom vines, and splattering mud everywhere. I stood there, jaw dropped, watching as the driver, this woman I'll call Linda, just backed up, gave me this smug little wave like it was no big deal, and peeled off down the street. Man, the rage hit me like a freight train. Neighbors peeking out their windows, chuckling behind their curtains, and there I was, covered in dirt, vowing right then and there that this entitlement queen wasn't going to get away with turning my pride and joy into her personal shortcut anymore. Looking back, it wasn't the first time. Oh no, Linda had been doing this crap for months, ever since she moved into that McMansion at the end of the block, treating our cul-de-sac like her private racetrack, ignoring the no-through-traffic signs we'd all fought the city to put up. I tried being the nice guy at first. The reasonable neighbor left a polite note on her windshield one day, explaining how much time and sweat I'd poured into that garden, how those tomatoes weren't just plants but a way for me to unwind after long shifts at the warehouse. But she crumpled it up right in front of me, tossed it in the gutter, and said with this fake sweet smile, "Honey, life's too short for your little hobbies, get over it." Oof, that stung, twisted my words like I was the one being dramatic, and every time after that, she'd rev her engine a bit louder, almost mocking me as she cut through again, leaving tire tracks that mocked my efforts to keep things neat. The frustration built up slow at first, then all at once, like watching your sanity leak out drop by drop. I'd catch glimpses of her from my window, that SUV gleaming under the streetlights, and the neighborhood whispers started turning into smirks, folks asking if I was going to do something about that wild woman. I brainstormed everything, parking my truck to block her path, calling the cops with shaky phone videos that never quite captured the full entitlement, but nothing stuck, because deep down, I realized hitting her car wasn't enough. I had to target that bloated ego of hers, make her feel the humiliation she'd dumped on me. So, I shifted gears, literally started researching local laws on property defense, sketching out this clever setup with hidden barriers that'd teach her a lesson without crossing into outright vandalism. That's when I built the first trap, nothing fancy, just some reinforced posts buried under the grass along the edge where she always cut through, topped with these angled metal strips that'd pop tires like balloons if you hit him wrong. I tested it with an old wheelbarrow, heart pounding, imagining her face, and sure enough, next morning she comes roaring in as usual, tires hissing as they deflate, her SUV lurching to a stop right in my yard. She jumps out, red-faced and screaming, "What the hell is this? You sabotaged me. You're gonna pay for this, you petty little man." I kept my cool, phone in hand, recording the whole meltdown, while she dialed the cops, ranting about assault or whatever twisted logic she cooked up. Officers show up, take one look at my property lines, the videos of her previous joyrides, and side with me. "Ma'am, this is private land. You're trespassing." Neighbors gathered, phones out, capturing her huffing and puffing as she waited for a tow truck, that smug wave from before now replaced by pure, seething fury. It was poetic, really, her standing there deflated as her tires. But Linda wasn't one to slink away quietly, no. She escalated like a pro, starting with petty jabs that felt personal, like dumping her trash bags over my fence at night, sticky goose smeared on my mailbox, even spray painting "loser" on my garage door in the dead of night. I'd wake up to anonymous notes threatening worse to come, and then the city complaints rolled in, here whining about my unsafe yard setups, leading to inspectors poking around, wasting my time. I fought back smart, upgrading with cameras that caught her red-handed, motion-activated sprinklers that doused her one evening mid-vandalism. She yelped like a soaked cat, slipping in the mud, and a beefed-up fence with just one tempting gap left open, like bait on a hook. The turning point came at this neighborhood HOA meeting I'd pushed for. I played the footage, her face on the projector twisting in denial as everyone saw the trespassing, the vandalism. "That's not me," she snapped, but the crowd murmured, eyes narrowing, and for the first time, she looked small, exposed under those fluorescent lights. Emboldened, I planned the next move, bigger, a collapsible metal enclosure around that gap, like a cage for her ego on wheels. I'd lure her through with the path looking clear, then remotely trigger the gates to slam shut. Days of welding in my garage, testing the mechanism till it was foolproof. And when she took the bait tires crunching over the grass again, the clang of steel echoed as she realized she was trapped. SUV boxed in like a rat in a maze. She pounded on the horn, yelling out the window, "Let me out! You psycho, this is kidnapping!" Neighbors rushed over, some laughing, others filming as she ranted, "I'll sue you into the ground." Cops arrived, reviewed my deeds and videos, confirmed it was my property. Her trespass stowed her precious right away while she stood fuming, the crowd cheering me like some backyard hero. But even in that high, I felt this nagging unease. Linda's eyes promised payback, and sure enough, the war cranked up. She went full throttle, then legal threats flooding my mailbox, suing for entrapment and emotional distress, while her vandalism hit new lows. Keying my car, more trash heaps, even this creepy black van parked across the street, watching my house like some low-budget spy flick. Bureaucracy became her weapon, tuneless complaints triggering hearings where she'd play the victim, batting her eyes at officials, claiming I was the neighborhood bully. I hunkered down, compiling evidence like a detective, timestamps, witness statements, piecing together why she hated me so much. It wasn't just entitlement. It ran deeper. Then Mike, this old-timer next door who'd always kept quiet, pulled me aside one evening over beers, spilling the beans. "Buddy, Linda's not just a pain fronting for some big-shot developer, buying up lots on the cheap to flip into condos. And your place? Prime spot. She's been tanking property values with this chaos, hoping you'd sell low for her kickback." That revelation hit like lightning, explained everything. Her calculated cuts through my yard to devalue it, the complaints to tie me up, all for greed wrapped in that fake neighbor smile. Fury boiled over, but I channeled it smart, plotting the end game. A community town hall I organized under the guise of resolving the drama, inviting everyone, including her, to air grievances. She showed up smug, ready to spin her tales, but as folks settled in the community center, I dimmed the lights, hit play on the projector. Videos of her trespasses, screenshots of developer emails Mike had dug up, audio of her threats. The room gasped. Linda bolted up, face paling. "This is fabricatory, all idiots if you believe this liar." But Mike stood, voice steady. "I saw the deals, Linda. It's over." The crowd erupted boos, questions flying, her denials crumbling under the weight, that moxie shattering as neighbors turned, one by one, rejecting her with cold stares. She stormed out, hurling empty threats over her shoulder. "You'll regret this." But it was done, her mask ripped off in a blaze of truth. In the aftermath, things unraveled for her fast. The developer deal tanked. Investigations kicked in for fraud and harassment, whispers of lawsuits, and even her house hitting the market under duress. Me? I finally breathed easy, watching my garden regrow, tomatoes sprouting stronger than before, neighbors stopping by with apologies and six-packs, the street settling back into that peaceful hum we'd lost. It wasn't without cost. Thought his war stripped away illusions about community, taught me that boundaries aren't just fences, but lines you draw in your soul. And justice? It comes from shining light on the shadows, even if it leaves scars. Looking back, I chuckle at how one crushed vine sparked it all, but damn, it changed me, made me tougher, wiser, maybe a bit more cynical about smiling faces next door. What do you think? Was I right to fight back like that? Or did I cross a line into vigilante territory? Drop a comment below, share your own neighbor nightmare stories, or weigh in on where justice ends and revenge begins. I'd love to hear your take. And hey, if this hit home, smash that like button and subscribe for more real-life tales that might just make you rethink your own backyard battles.